Vince,
Yes.
we're back
You're back.
for another episode,
Yeah.
episode 39. How many have I missed now?
Is this 2 in a row now? Is it?
Two in
We
a row.
had Tim in last one.
I reckon it
The
might
one
be.
before that.
I reckon
yeah.
it might be. Anyway, it's good to be
One.
back. You tell me that there are some questions right up my alley.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at them yet, so but I know that there are 5 of the best, curated by yours truly.
Yeah.
Let's dive straight in.
Let's do it. So first one. Joe, drop some business gold on us. Give us your top 5 business rules you've learned over time from P.H on YouTube.
Shit the bed.
You see what I couldn't answer this one?
Yeah, talk about right in. BH, fantastic question, and top 5. Shit, that's.
This is a podcast, man.
Yeah, I need like 2 hours to answer this question. Shit. All right, let's do this. Let's go for like different areas of business, right? Because I could give you top 5 business tips when it comes to finance, when it comes to HR, when it comes to marketing, when it comes to building culture. You know, there's so many bits and pieces. But all right, I'm literally going to just go full a cappella off the top of my head. My first top 5 business tip is to make sure that as a business owner, you check your ego at the door. And let me elaborate on that. You need to balance your confidence with humility, because in order to be successful in business, you need confidence, right? You need to be able to say, this is what I'm going to do. No matter what happens, I'm going to go through with it. I'm going to make it happen, and I'm going to do my little bit to change the world for the better. You need a lot of confidence to be able to do that. If you don't have confidence, it's very rare that you're going to achieve success in business. But the problem with confidence is if you have too much confidence, and the confidence is not balanced by humility, it can very quickly turn into ego.
Yeah.
And then you start doing dumb shit as a business owner. Then you start thinking that you deserve a lot of things to happen.
Yeah.
You start bleeding into entitlement mindset, and you really start making a lot of very bad decisions. I've made a lot of very bad decisions in business. I've been running businesses since 2000 and probably even earlier than 2005. But let's say 2005, because that's kind of when I say that I really kind of, planted the seeds for MassiveJoes. So, over 15 years now, I've made a lot of bad business decisions, and almost every single one of them I can trace back to ego, is making decisions with my ego. So that would be tip number 1. Tip number 2, let's go finance.
Yep.
Right, let's go to finance. Never put yourself in a position financially where you have to grow into something. So never take on debt that you have to grow into, never take on expenses that you need to grow into, never put yourself in a position where you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself to grow as a business. It's a much better situation to have the business growth and then have growing pains and have to make the decisions to scale up, rather than scale up too early and then just be kind of digging yourself continuously out of a hole, because it doesn't give you a lot of flexibility when shit goes wrong, and shit will always go wrong. So that's top tip number 2.
Yeah.
Let's go to
HR.
Let's go to HR, right? Building company culture is one of the most underrated things in business. My experience with business, I started as a one-man show. I was a one-man show for a very long time, hired my first employee, second employee, 10th employee, 20th, 30th, 40th, and kind of brought these people into the business. And to be completely honest with you, the first time that I really took a step back and said, you know what, I need to consciously start thinking about the culture, start thinking about the company core values, start thinking about the behaviors that are and are not acceptable, start thinking about the standards that we're setting for all of the team members in this company, in this team, was last year. Was actually in the middle of the pandemic, was when I actually said, you know what, I'd thought about it subconsciously and little bits and pieces, but actually sat down and said, all right, this is, I'm really going to dive into this now. And I think that the sooner you can really give conscious thought and dedicate a lot of time and effort into what your company culture is going to look like. What are your core values? Write them down, communicate them, make sure everybody in the company knows what they are. What standards are acceptable? What is not acceptable? What behaviors are acceptable? What are not acceptable? You need to have clarity and you need to communicate that. So that would be top tip number 3. Number 4, let's go to customers. We got to talk about customers. You don't have a business if you don't have customers, right? You always have to put your customers' interests first. And I guess this kind of ties in top tip number one, right? Because often ego can make you think that you know what customers want rather than listening to the customer and actually letting them tell you what they want. Your customers, whether you're selling a service, whether you're selling a product, whatever business you're in, your customers will tell you what they want. You just need to listen to them, right? And the market is always correct. Whether you want the market to be correct or whether you don't want it to be correct, it doesn't give a fuck. The market is always going to be the market, right? So if you try something and you think it should resonate with your customers, should resonate with the market, and it doesn't, that's the indication that the market doesn't think it's important. So go back to the drawing board, try something else. You have to listen to what your customers want. Don't think that you know better than what your customers know about what they want and what they don't want. That's top tip number 4. Number 5, where are we going to go?
What have you touched on?
I don't know. What's number 5? We've done HR. We've done finance. We've done a little bit of marketing. We've done. You know what? I'm just going to put a general tip in there.
That's good.
Never get so stuck in your ways as a business owner, business operator, that you get to the point where you're doing things a certain way because it's the way they've always been done. That is a death sentence for business. Things change so quickly, and the acceleration of change is faster than it's ever been. Right? You know, the way that we used to market 5 years ago even is completely different to now. You go back 10 years, you don't do any of that marketing anymore. You know, the sorts of services that we offer to customers, the products that we offer to customers, as soon as you're so stuck in your way that you are not willing to change because this is the way we've always done things, is the day that your business starts dying. So you have to, obviously you have to have business plans and you have to go down the path of those plans, but at the same time you need to remain as fluid as possible to take advantage of opportunities that will come your way in business that you can't even anticipate right now. Like I don't know what we're going to be doing in 12 months time. You know, I don't know if what we're doing from a marketing, from a product, from a services perspective now is going to resonate in 12 months. Don't know. And honestly, don't care. It's working now. We'll figure it out and we'll find something else that works. So you have to get that balance of rigidity when it comes to your company goals and your company plans with fluidity, because it allows you to take advantage of opportunities that you can't even anticipate right now. There you go. That's my top 5.
That's it.
Yep. Boom.
Done. Next question. What, in your opinion, is some of the best things to eat for a pre-workout meal? From Jon Riggs on YouTube. Fits quite well with you starting your prep, getting that.
Well, pro prep season 2, right?
People see it soon.
Man, I train first thing in the morning. So I'm up at just after 4. I try and get to the gym just after 5. So I'm eating, I eat a pre-workout meal before I train first thing in the morning. And I'm trying to eat something that is, you know, going to give me the energy to train, the fuel to train, but is not going to be so taxing on my gastrointestinal system that it kind of slows me down and sluggish and takes a long time to digest. So my pre-workout meal at the moment, I do a scoop of whey proteins. At the moment I'm using American Labs Patriots Whey, but sometimes I'll use Ghost Whey, you know, whatever. Fast digesting whey protein. I do 30 grams of cereal. So I mix up my cereals. I might do Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Reese's Puffs, Lucky Charms.
What are you feeling?
It's a little bit of a treat. I do 100 grams of blueberries, mix that up into a sludge in a bowl, eat that, and then I do half a bagel or a whole English muffin.
There you go. I train in the morning as well, usually about 5:30, 6 o'clock. Very similar. My pre-workout meal is not as comprehensive because I can't be bothered at that time in the morning. I literally eat a white bagel raw. So just not toasted, just a white bagel. That's it.
Just carbs.
Just carbs.
Boom.
Just carbs before I work out, and then I have my intra-workout aminos. If I wasn't as lazy, I would probably get that mixture. I mean, a white bagel is quite fast digesting. Going for a combination of kind of fast and slow digesting carbs. That's not going to be as taxing still. And getting that in roughly an hour beforehand at least. Just to fuel your whole workout.
I think the most important thing pre-workout is fast digesting carbs.
Yeah.
Really, like protein, yeah, good to have if you're having BCAAs intra-workout, does it really make that big of a difference? Probably not. Fats generally take a little bit longer to digest, so I'm not a big fan of consciously consuming large amounts of fats pre-workout.
No, yeah, I would avoid it.
Yeah, and then the same thing with complex carbs. Like, if you're consuming starchy carbs in big amounts before you train, they're just going to sit in your gut and make you feel a bit shit. So I think that's kind of the goal.
Yeah, and then it's really your pre-workout, post-workout nutrition that's going to be the biggest impact around training.
For sure. Next question.
In your opinion, is it better to drop the weight or take a little longer between sets to get max reps? This one's also from Jon Riggs on YouTube.
Doubling up
with the training.
Well, this is where you picked the questions from the YouTube comments first,
I did,
right?
Yeah.
I think it depends on what your goals are.
Yeah,
if you're, because immediately I think when you're talking about max reps, max weights, I immediately think like powerlifters and strongmen.
Yeah.
And those guys will rest like 5-10 minutes in between working sets.
Yeah.
They take big rest periods. For me, my rest periods in between working sets are 60 to 90 seconds.
Yeah.
Maybe some of my leg day working sets, maybe it's 2 or 3 minutes if they're, like maximum effort, want to feel like vomiting.
Are they your more compound exercises as well?
Yeah.
Like your squats, your bigger movements?
Leg presses, even barbell walking lunges.
Yeah.
Because they're long sets. Like a barbell walking lunge set, I'll do 50 steps up and back. It takes me 3 minutes to do it. And then my heart rate is like at fucking 170, 180.
Yeah.
And I'm trying not to throw up, so I just need a bit of time to catch my breath. But I think generally, I train for hypertrophy. So for me, it's trying to increase workout intensity by not resting too long, but resting long enough that I can go back and get a good working set in.
Yeah, I would agree. If your goal is hypertrophy, roughly 60, 90 seconds, because there you're trying to get really as much kind of force through your muscles over that period of, kind of, we're trying to make as much, what's the word I'm trying to say here?
Hypertrophy.
Yeah.
Right? It's almost like if you look at time under tension over a 90-minute workout, and you compare someone who's training for hypertrophy, the amount of time that their muscles spend under tension in that 90-minute workout, to someone who's training for strength. The person who's training for hypertrophy is probably 5+ times more time under tension, which is really stressing those muscle fibers, making those micro tears, and then that is the
you're getting a lot more volume through your workout, and putting more tension on your muscles at that time. Whereas if you're doing powerlifting, usually up to 5 minutes to get a full recovery, so you can then get that full lift at the full maximum weight for those reps you're going for, whether it's 1 or 5 or whatever you're going for there.
100%.
Yeah.
Next question.
When are you guys going to formulate your own truly complete pre-workout formula? So sick of having to stack my subs just to achieve clinical doses and synergism, and really struggle to tick all the 5 boxes that you're talking about. From Papi Mercuri from YouTube.
What a great question.
It is.
Can we tell him, Vince?
Did we tell him? It's up to you. This is.
I don't know.
I think we just did.
Awkward. Listen, man, we are. What can we say? I haven't said anything publicly at all.
No, we haven't.
At all. Where do we take this?
It's something we've looked into. And I guess when we have looked into it, hasn't been a priority at that time.
Yeah.
It is, I would say, something we would like to do.
I would say at this point, keep your eyes peeled for early 2022.
Yeah.
I would say. Would you say?
Yeah.
I would say. We've been working on something behind the scenes for the better part of this year. We actually started last year, right? That was Project Eclipse.
Yeah.
Midway through 2020, midway through the pandemic year.
Yeah.
And something that we have been continuously chipping towards throughout 2021 and early 2022, we should be good to go. But I will just comment on this point as well, because when you're saying truly complete pre-workout formula, right, and you talk about the 5 boxes that we're trying to tick with complete stimulant-based pre-workouts, which is muscle power, muscle pumps, muscular endurance, energy, mental focus, and mood, right? If you were to formulate throw everything in the kitchen sink at this pre-workout, the retail price of the pre-workout is gonna be over $100
easily
for 20 serves.
Yeah.
You're talking $5-6 a serve for that pre-workout, which is, kind of expected, right? If you know how much ingredients cost and you look at when you're stacking a pre with a non-stim or a non-stim with a pump or whatever it looks like, that's about how much it's costing you per serve anyway. And that's kind of how the economics fall out. The problem with doing that in one product is it's very difficult to sell because the market, going back to question one, has decided that the price of a pre-workout is 70 to 80 bucks. Right,
really,
and we've seen pre-workouts that have come in at $89.95 and they collect dust and they expire and no one buys them, regardless of the formula. It's just too big of a leap for the market to take, and there's no market for it. No one's going to buy that. So that's the rock and the hard place.
I mean, there is some good complete pre-workouts out there. Andre's Harness ticks all 5 boxes.
It does.
So there is a few out there if you're looking. But yeah.
Yeah, and there are, and you know, even with Harness, we just shot a Sup Wars a couple of hours ago, so this is fresh in my mind. Is even Harness, you can pick holes in that formula, but it's already expensive. You know, so kind of where do you go with that? So, you know, when it comes to just putting a tick next to all the 5 boxes, absolutely, there are products on the market. Arms Race Harness is a great example of that. Probably another one, Man Sports Game Day, off the top of my head. You know, almost 5 really good ticks. But if you're like, I want to cover all bases, I want to pumps plus from multiple different areas, plus prolonging the pumps, plus muscular endurance from 2 different ingredients, plus mental focus and mood, plus energy from 3 different stimulants, plus muscle power from 2 different ingredients, it's going to be a really expensive formula.
It is,
All right, Vince, last question.
When working on TMJ Apparel, how long did it take you to find the right manufacturer? From maddiegranotz from Instagram Q&A.
What a timely question from Maddie. It's funny because Leah actually put a post up this morning and she said it's coming up to 7 years that she's been working on TMJ Apparel. You saw that one? I was like, shit, it's been that long. Interesting to note, I think the perception with TMJ Apparel is that we have like a main manufacturer, or maybe a couple of different manufacturers. We have over 10. So we have a manufacturer that just does t-shirts. We have a manufacturer that just does outerwear, and only types of outerwear, right? Not the jackets, but the jumpers. We have a manufacturer that just does lifting belts. We have a manufacturer that just does lifting straps.
Just hats is a separate one.
Just hats is another manufacturer. So we use a lot of different manufacturers. So when you say how long did it take you to find the right manufacturer, the question I ask is for which piece?
And they're always
for which type of product?
And then if you ask Leah, she's always looking for new ones because she's trying to level up the apparel. So there's always new manufacturers doing new stuff that this other one hasn't even thought of. Or they say they can't do what you want to do. You'll find someone else to do it.
100%. And I think that, you know, that mindset that you have, Maddie, 100% understand where that comes from. It's like, you know, I'm going to have to go through X number of manufacturers and iterate and find the right one. And then once I find the right one, you know, that's it. It's very destination focused. I would encourage you, you know, if you're looking at starting your own apparel brand or if you're just interested in the process, focus on the journey, not the destination. Right, because we have some really good manufacturers at the moment who are kind of meeting the standards that we're after for TMJ Apparel at this point in time. When it comes time to level up, like you just said, it might be time to find new manufacturers that can do what we need them to do at the standard we need them to do. So I don't think you ever find the right manufacturer. I think you might find the right manufacturer for a particular type of apparel at a particular point in time, but the journey never ends.
Should we tell Maddie to hit us up on TMJ Apparel? We might be able to help her out. If you're watching this still,
absolutely.
Hit us up.
For sure. All right, Vince, that's a wrap.
That's it.
Guys, if you have a question that you would like us to answer in the very next episode of The Clinical Dose, the best place to put it is right here in the comments on the YouTube channel. That's the first place Vince looks. And then he goes to Instagram, the MassiveJoes Facebook page, and all the other places that we get questions from. But that is the best place. So make sure you drop a comment down below with your question and we'll pick the top 5 from there. Vince, anything else you'd like to add?
That's it.
Guys, hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to the MassiveJoes YouTube channel. Don't forget to turn your post notifications on so you don't miss a beat when it comes to all these new editions of Clinical Dose and everything else we've got happening here on the channel. Until next time, where we coming to and from, Vince?
MassiveJoes.com.
Stay massive.
Thank you for tuning into this video. We hope you enjoyed watching. Don't forget to check out our latest upload and our recommended video, and be sure to subscribe to the MassiveJoes YouTube channel to stay up to date with all of our latest uploads.